Welcome everybody to my Cyber Dragon profile. Today I went 3-1 with it. I lost to Constellar due to bad draws. But basically I wanted to share my profile. It's completely done now. So I wanted to show you how I ran today. I got 4th place. I was a couple points behind somebody else for 3rd, so let's get into it. Main deck. It's basically a simple Cyber Dragon build, but it's still very competitive. 3 Cyber Dragons, basic. Making your rank 5 plays for Nova and whatnot, and any of your other rank 5s you run in the deck. And that's 21 beater, plus you can special summon if you have no monsters in the field, so it helps you get your quick plays off really a lot faster. 3 Dre. When Dre is summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons on the field level 5, so you can start overlaying. You can only overlay for machine type monsters, but it's usually you go into a Nova anyways. But he's still really good. 3 of him. 3 of the next Cyber. Core. Basically also the core of the deck. He searches for your machine plants and able to get to your Cyber Dragons faster. He also counts as Cyber Dragon, just like Dre does. Also, when he's in the graveyard, you can banish him to special summon a Cyber Dragon on the field if your opponent has a monster and you don't. Also, you can use machine duplication with them and bring out two regular Cyber Dragons with 2100 attack. So it's really awesome because he counts as a Cyber Dragon on the field. Also, you can use Power Bond for him to make twins and whatnot. So, of course, really awesome to have. 3 Valley. I love 3 Valley. Good play is Transmog your Cyber Valley into a core, transmodify, and then you use dupe on core, and with core's effect, get 2 Cyber Dragons on the field. Why not? So that's a really good combo with them. Also, their effect, I use Mind Control in this deck, which I'll get into that when I get to Mind Control. But basically, take control. It's one of its abilities is banish itself and another face-up monster on your field, and draw 2 cards, which is really good for adding cards to your hand. You start making bigger plays and go for your OTK. Also, if he's targeted for an attack, you can banish him, draw a card, and end the battle phase. So he's really good if you need a summon and you don't really got anything. Also, using him with machine dupe, if you don't have a transmogrify, you can banish him and another copy of himself, draw 2 cards, and you still have 1 Valley on the field. So there's a lot of 1-ups there. I love Valley. Machina Fortress. He's an amazing card. I love his. He can discard himself for his ability, plus another machine type monster. You got to discard a total of 8 stars from your hand, and special summon either from your hand or the graveyard. He counts as 7 of the stars. You can discard himself, but when he's in the graveyard, you got to discard 2 monsters or more. But it's usually just 2. My deck mostly because I usually discard 2 Cyber Dragons or something like that and get set up for a different play. It depends on what's going on. Machina Fortress is really good. Also, his other ability, when he's destroyed by a battle, you can destroy a monster, I believe. Yeah. Destroy 1 card. You can destroy 1 card on the field, which is really good. I usually destroy the monster to destroy me unless I need to get rid of something in the back row. Also, his other ability, if he's targeted by a monster effect, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. Instant advantage. People are afraid to use that, especially in certain situations where they need the card in their hand. Also, if you have 2 on the field, you can rank over for Dracosac. And I've won one of my games today because of Dracosac. I had a Machina Fortress and a Gear Frame in my hand. Summoned Gear Frame, got my Fortress to the hand. Plus, I had other stuff in my hand also. Got both Fortresses on the field, made Dracosac, and started going off of plays next turn with my Cyber Dragons and made a whole field and just owned my opponent. And then clearing the field with Dracosac. So, my Machina Fortress is really amazing. Another one of my favorites is Honest. I hate that he's not a machine type, but it's not really all that big of a deal. Its effect comes in a lot of handy, especially if you're going for your OTK and they have a monster on the field. So you make sure you put as much damage as possible. Also, when you have like somebody on the field, like your core only has 400 attack. So you can drop Honest. So they're all light monsters except for the Machina monsters. So Honest is so good in this deck. I run it at 2, and it works really well. 1 Gear Frame. Gear Frame searches Fortress. if you get out Fortress, you can equip Gear Frame to them, so you can get them off the field if you need to make room. So it comes in handy that way. Also, you can special summon them back. This just depends on what you need to do at the time, because with Cyber Dragons you can fill up your field really fast. Within Society of Turds, with a lot of monsters you need, and sometimes you need to make room. So I like that ability from him. But basically, he's good for searching. One Chronomality Golden Jet. He can increase the levels of all Chronomality monsters, and he's a 4, so it instantly makes him a 7. It's really good for rank 5 for your main part of the deck is being rank 5 plays. So he's really good to have in the deck. One Cyber Eltanin. He's really amazing. I've been given a lot of situations where he's actually won me games and put me in situations where I ended up winning the game because of his effect. You banish all light type machine type monsters from your field and graveyard. He gets special summon with 500 attack for each. Also, when he gets special summon to the field, all face up monsters on the field or go to the graveyard. So if your opponent has a whole field of face up monsters, for instance like Stellar Knights or whatnot, you clear them all off the field one move. And if you have a lot of light monsters, boom, he get an OTK for game if the back row is open and whatnot. And also a lot of situations where you're screwed like that, you can bring him out in a flash, because to get his effect off, all you need is at least one. So like if you only have like a Valley in a graveyard and you have him in your hand, like I've done before, and I just banished that. He has 500 attack, so I'll special summon him in defense, and just all their face up monsters go to the graveyard. I was playing UAs with my Cybers, and he had 2 aces on the field. I made him. I wasted. Yeah, of course I had to use up my resources to get him to use both of his materials. But then I dropped for both of their effects, sorry. And then I dropped Eltanian, cleared both aces off the field, and after that I actually ended up winning because the next draw was Overload. So, and I had a Power Bond, sorry. And I had 2 Cybers in hand. So, well, Rare Player Plant and a Cyber. Yeah. Alright, that's it for the monsters. We're going to the spell lineup now. 3 Repair Plants. When you have a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, you can either choose to add 1 light machine type monster from your deck to your hand, which is 90% of the monsters in the deck, or you can target 1 light machine type monster in your graveyard and shuffle it back into the deck, which comes in handy if you need to make plays with duplication or anything like that situation, which is really good. If you have 3 or more Cybers in your graveyard, you can use both of the effects, so that comes in handy too, because you got Cybers in the graveyard a lot most of the time. So. And it's searchable with core, so 2 duplication. Just like I was talking about earlier, use it with Valley and use it with core. That's make really great plays. Like you can also, if you do this on core, that's the kind of Cyber Dragons on the field. So if you Power Bond for a Cyber in with 8,000 attack, you can go for game. So that's another way to OTK. So machine duplication is really amazing. 3 is pretty good. I run it at 2 because I don't want it to be too heavily in my deck, and I don't want to see it way too much, because it can definitely be a bad draw if I don't have the right stuff for it, or if I don't need it any longer. So, but it's still a pretty good card. It needs to be at 2. 1 is just not enough. I've already tested it with 1. It just wasn't enough. 2 Instant Fusion to bring out Panzer Dragon, or I can bring out Paracycler. And most of the time I use Instant Fusion just to make rank 5 plays, because Panzer is a level 5, and so is Paracycloid. And it's only 1,000, so it's really good to have. I run 2 Power Bond, 3 is too cloggy, 2 is really good, 1 is not enough. That's about it. And when you fusion summon for your fusion monster, they get double the attacks, but you have to take damage at the end of the turn, but I only use it when it's necessary. So for usually OTK reasons. I run 2 Transmodify. You send a face-up monster you control to the graveyard and get special summon 1 monster with the same attribute and type, but only 1 level higher. So you use this on Dre and get a Cyber Dragon, or you can use it on Valley and get a Core. It comes in real handy in that way, so Transmodify is really good for that. Also, it gets you a Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, so you can use Plant. So Transmodify is really awesome. Really good combos with it. I'm thinking about maybe running 3. It's MST. A lot of people don't main them anymore. but they're starting to come back, especially with being more trap heavy. I want to run the third one. Usually use it just to clear out things that get annoying, like vanities or anything like that might stop me, and to clear annoying back row that I don't know what's there, so I can OTK. So MST is really good for that reason. So I'm running at 2 currently. 2 is good enough. I might run 3. Changed this up to just 1. Changed it actually after the tournament today because 2 just wasn't really good. I seen it way too much, and when I seen it, it wasn't really as helpful as I needed to. But it's still really good to have for certain situations. So 1 is perfect. I think more than that is just not really good at all. And so I caught my Chimera Tech Over Dragon down to 1 too. So that's basically what it's for. 1 limiter, basically going for the OTK, and also in certain situations helps out. So it's limiter, normal. 1 copy of Mind Control. Basically, I use it to take control of my opponent's monster while I have Valley on the field, and then use Valley's effect and banish both your Valley and their monster, and you get to draw 2 cards. So basically, all you're losing is one monster, and then using that 1 card you activated, the 1 Mind Control you used. So basically, you're drawing 2 new cards. It cycles through the deck so much faster, and it's been so helpful since then. If I could run more than 1, I definitely would. 1 Foolish Burial. It helps get your Cyber Plant live, or fuel for Overload, or anything like that you might need. Or you can use it to send Machina Fortress to the graveyard so you can bring them to the field. It's really good. It's helped me out every game today. Book of Moon, basic staple. So, like if they Mirror Force, I can always Book of Moon them. My own monster, or Book of Moon their monsters too. So 2 copies of Mirror Force for defense. This deck has not very much defense at all, except for the monsters. So the Mirror Force actually have helped out today. I love the 2 Mirror Force. 2 Magic Cylinders, really good too. And 1 Kapulse, just basic staple. It's really good. Also allows you to bounce Dre back to your hand so you can summon him again to use his effect again. So, going into the extra deck. I wish I can have a 20 card extra deck because there's so much stew I want to run in there. Like an extra Cyber Twin and everything like that. Alright. Starting off the first one, Dracossack. And I explained him earlier. Basically, his effect is you get him on the field with 2 level 7s. And then from there, you can move one of your materials, special summon 2 tokens. And as long as there's a token on the field, he can't be destroyed by a battle or card effects. And also, you can get rid of a token once per turn and destroy any card on the field. And then the next turn, you can remove the material. Then you have 3 tokens on the field, and it's just really overpowered. He wins games. One of my next favorites, Pallades. His ability is 2 level 5s, and once per turn during either player's turn, you can attach an XYZ material from him and return any card on the field to the hand. And that also makes a lot of really good plays. So Pallades is really good. I love Pallades. He's helped me out a lot today and actually won games because of him also. The main XYZ of the deck is Cybernova. 2 level 5s, of course. And what you do is you can retrieve if you have a Cyber in the graveyard, because you got to have at least 1 in the graveyard before you activate his ability, his first ability anyways. You can remove a material from him, which is usually a Cyber Dragon. And it goes to the graveyard first. Then you target a Cyber Dragon, which if you already have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, you can target the one that you removed off of them. Also, so you bring that back. You can special summon them to the field. So now you got a Cyber Dragon on the field. And then like if you have you can bring out another Dre next turn or anything like that. It uses the effect. You can pull out another Nova and make combos with it. So it's really good. I've had all three Novas on the field at one point in time. It's really good. I was thinking about actually running a Soul Charge in here too, for that reason, to make multiple Novas. And Nova's other ability, you can banish a Cyber Dragon from your hand or field, and he gains 2100 attack, 2100 more attack, so it becomes a 42. If you banish Dre's effect activates, and you can target any Cyber Dragon, and it can't be destroyed that turn. So you can target Nova, or your Cyber Dragon. So one copy of Volcasaurus. He's really good for that burn, and he can win games. I actually didn't pull him out today. I never had to. So, but he's really good. There's a lot of situations where I end up pulling him out. I just didn't do it today. One I use this sometimes, but sometimes I replace it with other things. I use it today actually. You can remove a material. It's 2 level 4s for when you have drays from your Novas, so you can overlay those drays for a Giga Ant, and you get to basically search your deck for a level 4 or lower machine type monsters for another dray, core, or anything else you need. So he's really good for searching. One copy of Chimera Tech Fortress. Basically, you send to the graveyard monsters, machine type monsters from your side of the field, as long as you got at least one of them Cyber Dragon, and send them all, and he gets 1,000 for each. So he's just a beater basically. The old combo was DNA Surgery, so you can use your opponent's monsters also, because it says any machine type monsters on the field. So Fortress is pretty good for that aspect. I just don't run DNA Surgery in my build. One Sabarin with Power Bond, he does piercing damage, so he's really awesome. Plus he's a 4,000 beater. With Power Bond, he's an 8,000. So same thing with Cyber Twin. He can attack twice, and I usually OTK with him, Power Bond with him, and if the field's open, and he's like 40. He's a 5,600 attacker, and I can attack twice with Power Bond. So it's really awesome. One copy of Chimera Tech, because I'm only using one overload. He gets 800 attack for every fusion monster you use, every material you use for him, and also he can attack that many times attack that many monsters in total. 2 Panzers for the instant fusions to make my rank 5 plays. That's always there for. One copy of the Ultimate Battle Machine. If somebody would destroy if they destroy him with a card effect, Nova's effect is I can special summon any fusion monster from my fusion deck, from my extra deck, and usually I bring on him. He can attack twice. He's a 4,000 beater. He can't attack directly, but he can attack 2 monsters. And when he destroys that monster, it negates that monster's effects, and they take 1,000 damage. So he's really awesome to have. And for last in my extra deck is Paracycloroid. I can Power Bond him with 2 Cyber Dragons, 2 machine monsters with the same name. And he can attack your opponent directly. Now with Power Bond, he becomes a 3,200 because he's 1,600 originally. So that's 3,200 direct, and it stays that way. And with Power Bond, I'm only going to take 16 life at the end of the turn. So you're always going up. It's always good. And this is basically my permanent build for Cybers at the moment. I really like this build. I'll be testing other things. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.